Hello again, everyone. Deflect here, Firm but Fair Gaming. I want to bring you the video. It is coming up on Tuesday, and if you've seen the notice, it's happening. Havoc is getting nerfed again. Now, this is a more significant nerf than the last one, but this is going to actually hit decently hard. I think when I was playing Havoc, Sigil of Flame was around 8 to 10% of my damage. So that's a 10% nerf to that, which works out to like a 1%. Just under, so it's between 0.8 and 1% of the damage. Collective Anguish talent damage from Summon Fell Devastation reduced by 10%. I think that's going to be fine. I think that's like a 0.5% damage decrease. And then Ragefire talent for stored from Immolation or Crit Strikes reduced to 30% was 35. Again, I think the total nerf and a fire inside talent chance to reset immolation or reduced to 25% was 30. I think the total is only going to be roughly around 3 to 4% damage decrease, so it's not that big. It's not the end of the world for Havoc. It's not going to nerf you into oblivion. You're still going to be really, really great as Havoc Demon Hunter. Next one, Devastation Evoker. They can do decent damage. They just can't compete yet. And augmentation is still way up there just for their survivability. Augmentation damage is actually shit. People are like, well, you can do good damage. Yeah, you have to have all 4 people doing crazy damage to actually parse really well as aug. And then there's a lot of things you have to do for it. And if you run with a druid, you can actually resto druid. You can cheese the healing because more of their stuff counts towards you. So to get really good healing parses as an aug evoker, you just cheese it with a druid. So little weird things like that. It's not really tallying everything correctly, but Devastation is the one being buffed. Pyre damage increased by 15%, and all damage increased by 3. So it again will be better. It's not terrible damage, and this will definitely help. Like single target, it does very well. The AOE, some of it is hit or miss depending on how tight the mobs are grouped. Preservation Evoker, they're actually reverting this. So finally, Resonating Sphere is going back to 5 targets instead of 3. The 3 was shit, so you had to use 2 echoes and a sphere to get your whole group with an echo on it. It was really annoying to play with. I'm just glad they're reverting it because the 3 was dog shit. It really just sucked. Now, that being said, sometimes if you're playing with a range and they're standing behind you because some ranges love to stand behind the Aug Evoker, you do have to echo them anyway, but at least this will get the rest. Mage, Arcane going up, Blast going up by 6%, Missile going up by 10%. Good change, very good change for Arcane. They do pop off a little bit, but they're not like crazy OP by any means, so this will be nice. Fire Blast up by 12, Pyroblast by 5, Fireball by 10, Flame Strike by 12, and Intensifying Flames and Ignite damage by 25 was 15, so it's a 10% increase. Good for Fire. Fire is always a tough spec to play. There's a lot nuances to it. I haven't met very many great fire mages. It's a very hard thing to pull off and know when to use it, and it's kind of based on the route you're pulling, and a lot of nuance to the fire. Frost, it does very, very well if your tank is good at playing with the Frost because you keep it in the Blizzard, you keep it in their orb, and they do tremendous amounts of damage. So this buff is just going to be exceptional. Frostbolt wasn't much of their damage. Ice Lance wasn't that much anymore. Flurry was good. Glacial Spike could be a great damage increase. So Windwalker Monk, they know there was an issue with, and they are fixing it. Their damage was low. Single target especially, but they are getting their big spinning crane kicks going up by 20%, Blackout 10, Sunrise 8, Fists of Fury 8, Blackout Reinforcement up 50% from 200, Glory of the Dawn up by 12, and Dance of Chi bonus increased to 300 instead of 2. Huge buffs for them. This should make it very, very good to play a little bit of Windwalker. Mistweaver is getting a little bit of nerfs. Unison now heals a secondary injured ally for 35%. It's down from 50. Enveloping Breath heals reduced by 10%. Essence Font healing reduced by 8%. This is more of a raid one. The Essence Font was just crazy in raid. Ret Pally, which surprising me, all damage increased by 3. Their AoE is incredible. Their single target is dog shit, but their AoE is incredible. Shadow. Psychic Link now causes direct damage spell to inflict 25% of the damage on all other targets by your vampiric touch. Was 15. 10% buff to Psychic Link. Will it be enough? Not sure. Holy, all healing increased by 3%. Prayer mending increased by 15. Yeah, that's good. That's good for Holy. You know, nobody's playing Holy because Disc is just phenomenal right now. Assassination's getting buffed. I think they just got nerfed not too long ago. Now they're getting buffed. All ability and melee auto attack damage reduced by 3%. Sorry, it's not a buff. It's another nerf. My mistake. My mistake. I thought they were getting buffed again. Assassination, it's good. I don't know. I think Outlaw does more damage now, but Assassination, it was good. I think it's dropping rather quickly with all these nerfs because it was just nerfed not too long ago. Shaman Elemental Earthquake damage increased by 50%. Enhancement warding now changed, goes from 2 to 3 and 4 to 6. Restoration Shaman Torrent now increases the initial heal of Riptide by 15 and 30, was 10 and 20. Healing Surge up by 12%. Healing Stream increased by 12%. Okay. Their AoE healing is phenomenal on Shaman. Like, their in-raid healing is just disgustingly good. They just crank it in raids, but this looks to be a little more single target focus because it's Riptide and Healing Surge. The healing stream's a little bit of everything, but yeah, Affliction Lock, they're in the dumpster right now. I thought they were going to be a lot better than what they are, but they're not doing very well. Seed of Corruption up by 10%. Rot now goes to 4 instead of 3 people. And Dark Harvest now increases critical strike and haste by 4 per target, was 2.5. That's a big, big, big increase. That one's going to be huge. Destruction, Rain of Fire up by 12. Cataclysm damage increased by 25. Immolation damage from Infernal and Blasphemy increased by 25, and Immolate damage increased by 10. So that's a good good buff for Destruction. Definitely a good buff for Destruction. That's going to round it out. This is hitting on Tuesday, December 19th. So watch for all these. A lot of places, people getting buffed. Unfortunately, if you're Outlaw Rogue or Havoc Demon Hunter, you're getting nerfed, but and I guess Mistweaver a little bit. But the rest are getting buffs. So enjoy the buffs if you're one of the classes, and unfortunate if you're one of the other ones. Anyways, this was Deflect, Firm But Fair Gaming. We'll see you in the next video.